Have you ever wondered what are the steps to be able to adopt a child from foster care? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on All About Adoption. Hi, I'm Stephanie A., and I'm the founder and executive director here at Adoption and Beyond. Since 1998, we've helped hopeful adoptive families and expecting parents with support and education from pregnancy to placement and beyond. So I wanted to be sure that I clarify that when we're talking about adopting a child from foster care, we're not talking about foster to adopt, which typically means you foster a child and then may have the opportunity to adopt them. We're talking about adopting a child straight from foster care. I also want to clarify that typically the children who are available for adoption to be adopted from foster care are typically going to be 8 years of age and older, such as our daughter, who we adopted from foster care. She was 8 years of age, or they're going to be a sibling group of children of all different ages, or they're going to be a child who has severe medical needs or emotional needs. So those are the children that you're typically going to see on what are called photo listings. Those are websites that are set up for you to be able to see children who are available for adoption from foster care. That could be Adopt US Kids, that could be Adopt Kansas Kids. So we're going to talk about what that journey is like. So the first step is you're going to want to be sure you get a home study done. And you want to be sure you have a home study that is going to be good for foster care adoption. So what that means for us as an agency at Adoption and Beyond, we will allow you to use our home study for a foster care adoption if you have been through foster care training first. And foster care training is typically 30 hours of training. And typically in the past, it was 10 weeks long. It was 3 hours once a week. Those were in person, but now they have it online training as well. And so as long as you've been through that training, you can use our home study for a foster care adoption. And the reason why we require that you've gone through the training is because adopting a child from foster care, they have a lot of unique needs, and it's really important to know the journey that they've come through to even get to the point where they're available for adoption from foster care. So having that foster care training is going to set your knowledge base, it's going to set your expectations, and it's going to support you in knowing what you need to do and how parenting a child from foster care is very different from parenting a child that you may have given birth to. So that's why we require the training before a family can use our home study to adopt from foster care. So the first step is for a family to look at a photo listing and to find a child that they feel would be a good fit for their family. And then you're going to inquire about that child. Typically it's filling out a form. And then once you've done that, the photo listing entity will reach out to us as your home study agency and request a copy of your home study. So like I said, don't even look at the photo listings until you have a home study done, because you're not going to be able to get any information or to move anywhere in the process unless you have a home study done. So when you go to look at those photo listings, you're going to get your heart set on a child. And if your home study is not done, you are not going to be able to move forward with doing anything with hoping to bring that child home into your family. So have your home study done before you get your heart set on a child through the photo listings. When the home study is sent, then you are sent some non-identifying information about the child, just some basic information. And you're going to decide, knowing some basic information about the child, whether you still feel this child is a good fit for you. Now, just remember those photos, I want to say they're deceiving, but it's really hard to determine what these child's needs are by their photo. So just know that there could be a lot of needs behind that child and behind that smile on that photo. So just know when you get information, you may find that this isn't a good fit, and that's okay. You want to be sure that you bring a child into your family that's going to be a good fit for your family, and that you're going to be able to parent this child the way they deserve to be parented. So if you find this child is a good fit, then you're going to move on to the next stage of the process. They're going to send your information to the agency that has custody of this child and is trying to place this child. And that entity is going to look at your home study, and they're going to determine whether they think you're a good fit as well. If they determine you're a good fit, then they're going to want to set up a call with you to do a pre-interview to make sure that you are a good fit, and make sure you know information that you need to know about the child before you become a part of what's called a staffing. And a staffing is where all the adoption professionals surrounding a child come together. Typically, they like to have 4 families gathered when they do a staffing, to 4 families that they think would be a good fit. And as a team, they decide which family of the 4 is the right family for this child. Then once you determine that you are the right family, then you get to review the child's file, and you get to see all the information on the child. And I just want to forewarn you right now is that don't get scared off by the stuff that's in that file. I know for myself, when we read our child's file and learned everything that she had been through, and all of her needs that she was going to have, and all her diagnoses, I got scared. And if I hadn't known our daughter already, we knew her through a personal connection. We knew the foster family that had her. I don't know that I would have moved forward. And that would have been a real shame, because she's been such a joy to my life. And so I want to be sure that when you read that, don't let it scare you off. Just be sure that you go in with an open mind. Now, you may read some things that you're like, oh, no, we just don't feel that we would be the right fit for this child. And that's okay. We want a child to be put into the right family. We're looking for a family for a child, not a child for a family. So be sure that this is the right fit. And so when you do determine that this is the right fit, then they move on to the next stage, which is going to be creating a transition plan to have the child transition into your family. Our transition period took about 3 months. So we started out with going to visit our daughter with her foster family, and then we had time with her at a park. And then eventually we had the child coming to our home for short visits, day visits, because she was a distance away. So when she came, it was for a day. And then she was taken back home. And then it was an overnight, and then it was a weekend. So it's just a slow transition, just to make sure everything is going well, and everything's going to be a good fit for everyone. Then when the child is moved into your family, the child is going to be supervised. Typically once a month, a caseworker from the state will come out and supervise and make sure placement's going well. They'll talk to the child alone. They'll talk to you alone. They'll want to view the child's room and make sure they have a safe place in their own bed. And they're going to want to look at that and make sure that the child is well taken care of and that they feel safe in your home. And typically that's about a 6-month period of time, at least 6-month period of time. And then when it looks like placement is a good fit for everybody, then the state will recommend finalization of the adoption, and then you'll have your final court hearing. So those are the stages that a child moves through when you are looking at adopting a child from foster care. Once again, that's not foster to adopt. This is not where you have fostered this child and then adopting. That process is different than this. This is when you're looking at adopting a child who is available for adoption and is on the photo listings for children from foster care who need to find a family. So I hope you found this helpful, and feel free to ask any questions below about the foster care adoption process. I'm happy to answer about what our journey was like, and help just know that you are in the right place to get all your questions answered. And thank you so much for joining me. Bye.